video, we're going to take a look at assignments within Google Classroom, and then we'll go back to a student account and see what they see when they actually submit an assignment. And finally, we'll wrap up with quiz assignments. So I'm starting in my Google Classroom here. The first thing that I'm going to do is actually create a topic just so I have a little placeholder for these assignments. Let's just call it July. As a reminder, if I'd like to rearrange my topics that I have here, I can just click and drag them to rearrange those. Now I'm ready to create a new assignment. So I'm going to come back up to my Create button and choose Assignment. And then I'm going to begin adding details about my assignment. So, it might be a writing prompt, it might be a math activity for the students to do. I'm going to make it pretty generic and call it a July assignment. If I have any instructions, I'm going to put those here for the students. So this might be something specific about the assignment, how they're going to turn it in, what they need to access. If there's more than one link in the assignment, maybe it's the order of the activities that they need to complete. So I'm going to add any additional instructions in here. Obviously, this is really important. If we are remote learning, you'll want to make sure that you're really clear with your instructions for the students. Then right underneath that, I'm able to add or create items that will go with this assignment. If I click Add, I'm able to add Google Drive items, a link, a file, or a YouTube video. I'm going to choose a Google Drive item. So now that I've chosen my Google Drive item, you'll notice that it tells me the name of the slideshow here, what type of item it is, so slides, doc, sheets, and so on. And then all the way on the right-hand side, I'm able to choose what permissions I want to give to the students. Students can view the file. Maybe this is just informational, and so I just want them to have the slideshow and just read through it. Students can edit the file. This really means that students can collaborate on the file. So they can open it up, they can edit it, and everybody else is editing the exact same one. So be warned about this one that it can get kind of crazy, but it is fun if you are able to organize some collaborative student Google Slides. And then the last one, make a copy for each student. That's probably our most popular. So if I choose this one, what it will do is it'll make a copy of this slideshow for all the students, and it'll put their name on it. If I haven't created a slideshow yet, or even if I want to use a blank slideshow with the students, I can also come over here and choose Create, and I can create on-the-fly activities for the kids. So I don't necessarily have to have something created ahead of time. I can always use this Create button here to create something while I'm actually adding the assignment. So moving over to the right-hand side, I can choose what class I would like to assign it to. If I click on this class, it's gonna show me any of my current active classes. This allows me to assign it to more than one class at a time, which is very helpful. And then right here, I have all students. I would have a list of 25, 30 kids on here, and I'd be able to see all of their names. If I only wanted particular students to do this assignment, I could actually check the box next to their name, and those are going to be the only kids that will actually see the assignment. I'm going to leave it as all students for right now. Next, I have my point value. If I click on the arrow, it's going to allow me to make this ungraded, or I can just come in here and I can actually change the point value. So whatever point value I want to give it, or I can choose ungraded. With my due dates, I can choose no due date, or I can choose a particular day, and then it's going to give the students those due dates in order on their to-do list. So it will order those by due date if I have an appropriate due date. And then next we've got our topic. We just created our July topic, so we're going to add it there. And then finally, rubrics. We're not going to go too far into rubrics. Just know that you do have the ability to add rubrics to an assignment. It allows for maybe easier grading if you're going to be looking at grading these items within Google Classroom. And then finally at the top right-hand corner, I can either choose Assign, or if I click the little arrow next to that, I can choose Schedule or Save, or I can get rid of the assignment completely. I'm going to choose Assign, and it's going to show up on my classwork page under my July topic, and it will then be available for students. So let's see what a student will see when they access this in Google Classroom. So here's Tyler's class, and he's going to go to classwork. And you can see these are some of the items that he's been assigned. If it's gray, he's already done that item. If it's blue, he hasn't completed that yet. So he's going to click on the July assignment. And he's going to be able to see, look, he's got a Google Slides presentation that has his name on it, which probably indicates that he is going to get his own copy of it. If there were any other links, they would show up in this area. He can either click on the slides from here, or he can choose View Assignment. And that's where he's going to get additional options. So any comments or instructions, rather, that were made will show up here at the top. If there are any class comments, so I've actually made an additional note to the class, they'll show up here. And on the right hand side, and this is probably the most important area for Tyler, he's going to see a link to his slides, and he can click on those and they will open. And remember, this is a copy, so he can do whatever he would like to this slideshow. He's also going to have an add or create button, very similar to the one that we had. And if he clicks on that, he's able to, again, similar to what the teacher had, he can actually add a Google Drive item, he can add a link, he can add a file, or he can create new things. So maybe my instructions in my assignment were just to have the students create a new document, create a new slideshow, especially if they're getting into 4th and 5th grade. You don't necessarily have to give them templates all the time. They can actually create a brand new document within that assignment. It's going to attach it to the assignment, and when they're ready, they can turn it in. Right underneath that, they can leave private comments. So this is a comment for my teacher. And we'll show you where those show up in just a second. And when Tyler is done, he's made his changes to the slideshow. Let's make some changes here. I'll just delete some slides. And then he's going to come back in here and he's going to choose Turn In. If Tyler maybe prematurely turned this in, or I look at it and it's not quite up to par, he needs to make some changes on it, I can either return that assignment back to him, or he can unsubmit this assignment. It's going to bring it back to Tyler so that he can edit it. So back on my teacher side, I have my July assignment here, and as you can see, I've got one student that has turned it in. If I click on that, I'm going to see Tyler. So I will actually see a little preview of his comment here, and if I click on his name down at the bottom, this is a comment for my teacher. So if students have said in the past, I left you a private comment, that's how they're getting to it. So they're going into the assignment details, they're adding that private comment, and then you can actually correspond with them here. So you can add an additional comment, and then I can also click on Tyler's work to be able to grade it. So when I click on Tyler's work, different than when he clicked on it, it just opened in slides. Now when I click on it within Classroom, I'm going to see this whole grader that I have here. So it's going to give me like a light version of Google Slides at the top. So I'm going to have some options up here. One of the best options that we have would be this comment. So I can actually comment on their work right within the document or within the slideshow. I can also add a private comment here. And I can create a comment bank so that maybe I'm saying the same comment to several students. I can add comments like, I need more information, and then actually copy that comment and add it to his work. So it makes it really easy to give feedback to students right within Google Classroom. When I'm done, you'll see at the top left, I have Tyler here. If I had more than one student, I'd actually be able to toggle between the students, so I wouldn't have to go back to Classroom. I can just toggle between those kids. When I'm completely done grading the assignment, I can choose to return that assignment to Tyler. I can also choose to return multiple submissions. So maybe I want to return everybody's assignment. I can return all those assignments or just return Tyler's to him. Once I return that assignment to him, he gains editing rights again. He did not have editing rights before. He gets those editing rights back, and that assignment can then be changed on his end. The last item that we're going to look at is creating a quiz assignment within Classroom. So I'm going to come up to the top and click Create, and then I'll choose Quiz Assignment. This is going to look very similar to our regular assignment. We'll have a title at the top. We'll have any instructions for the students. And then because we created that quiz assignment, it actually added a blank quiz in here. So we're able to just, create that quiz on the fly. So maybe I'm going to save this as a draft. That's what I'll do for this video. But I can also add, maybe there's an article that they're going to read that goes along with this quiz. So I can add the link to that. I can add the link to a presentation, a YouTube video, in addition to actually having the quiz over here. All the details on the right-hand side are the exact same. So, we've got what classes do we want to assign it to, what students are going to be doing this, how many points is it worth, what's the due date, is there a topic? We'll click our July topic, we'll make it worth 10 points. And we can add a rubric to this one as well. Since I haven't actually edited my quiz yet, I can either click here to edit my quiz and then choose Assign when I'm ready, or I can click this arrow and I can save this quiz assignment as a draft. So I'll click on my blank quiz. It's going to open up Google Forms. It has already made it a quiz, which means it's going to ask me for an answer key. And if I click on the question to edit the question, you'll see down at the bottom here that I'm able to add my answer key when I create that quiz. Right below, you should see at the bottom of this video a link to a YouTube video all about quiz assignments and quizzes within Google Forms. So please be sure to check out that video because it's got really good information about creating quizzes and using Google Forms to speed up some of that grading. So then back on my assignment here, if I'm ready, I'm just going to choose Assign for my blank quiz. Now I haven't added anything to this quiz, so that would be a very interesting assignment, but I can see now I've got this July quiz in here. If I intend for the students to do the assignment first and the quiz second, I can always click and drag those and rearrange them. It is going to add, whether it's topics or items within a topic, it is going to add them to the top every single time. So a new topic would go to the top, or a new item within your module is going to go to the top. So if you're looking at pre-planning some of your topics, I call them modules, but if you're looking at pre-planning some of this stuff here, you might look at what's the last thing I want them to do. I'll add that first and kind of work backwards to create this topic structure here. Thanks for watching this webinar. As always, if you have any questions, you can contact the Connected Learning team at clteam@tsc.k12.in.us.